welcome to my home.
Thanks so much, appreciate you having me.
It's just the West Wing. Okay. You've not been to my new house.
Life's been good to you recently.
Yeah. Do you want to go first?
Okay, I'd like to ask you, just something that's been on my mind.
Mm-hmm.
Do you remember the first time you saw a Van Gogh?
The first time I saw a Van Gogh was in Paris, and I went.
So highfalutin.
Yeah. And we went to the Musée d'Orsay, probably pronouncing it terribly. Sorry, French people. And we were like, we just want to see Starry Night because they have it, so we just want to see it. So we're milling around and we're going like up and up and up and seeing all of these amazing paintings, and then either through exhaustion or I don't know what happened, but we turned this corner and then it was just in front of us on the wall. Both of us, like me and my husband, just cried.
Wow.
So it was like this little weird moment for just the two of us. When was the first time you saw a Van Gogh?
In the flesh or first saw?
Let's say, what's the more interesting story?
In the flesh is tonight, so
Okay.
it's not very interesting.
Okay.
Well, it was, but you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Okay, so in year 7, I had art homework one time, right? And in year 7, this was a time where I wouldn't normally produce homework. I wasn't.
You were a naughty boy.
I wasn't prolific at producing homework at this time. But I think Van Gogh had inspired me, true story, to produce some homework. And I was like, right, if I'm going to do it, I'm really going to do it. Do you know what I mean? So like, I like takeaways in real life, but it's like if I'm going to cook, we're cooking. Do you know what I mean? So I was like, right, I'm really going to go. I'm going to show them. I'm going to show everyone. And then so I've done this like homework, and I've like, and we still have it. My parents still have it, like this A3 sheet that they give you in art. And I like done drawings on it, and I'd written all about Van Gogh, and I was like, yeah, Van Gogh was famous for drawing tulips. And the teacher's written, close. They'd written, oh, you know, it's great to see that you made an effort to do your homework, but so thank you, Nima, but you were supposed to research Picasso. I was like, no more homework for you guys. I didn't do any since. Yeah, I learned my lesson. I don't need to look at me now. They shut the whole gallery down so I could do Van Gogh.
I have a question for you.
Okay.
Do people you know ever end up in the characters that you've played?
Yeah, but not very purposefully. Well, sometimes purposefully, with the teachers that we played purposefully. But I do feel quite awkward about that as well, because I'm like, you know how some artists will be like, I use this for inspiration, I use that thing that happened to my mum. I'm like, your mum's gonna see that.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
So maybe use it quietly.
Yeah, quietly,
Don't, like,
classily.
yeah. It's interesting because Van Gogh did like a lot of personal stuff in his work, but then if we didn't have access to all of his letters, which does feel a bit like
It's a bit much.
we've got his letters and we're publishing them, and that's just that's
We've got your tweets as well.
yeah, well, I
Like
guess it's the
up,
same
innit?
thing, right? Like, yeah. Van Gogh was inspired by other writers, artists, and poets. Which creative influences do you always go back to, if any?
I go back to like old school music. So I listen to the same music I did as a teenager, but like very much so. So you know, like Alicia Dixon, Breathe Slow.
Oh my God.
I listen to that almost every day.
No, you don't.
Akon, Don't Matter. Yeah, every day. Like old school R&B. Like,
Every day?
Yeah. They're like the first two things on my songs on my phone is Breathe Slow, Don't Matter.
Oh my, because I remember you always used to sing Bobby Valentino, and that is one of my favourites.
Yeah.
That is like the vibe song of the century.
Yeah.
But go on.
So I don't know if it's like, inspiration, but it does something to me.
Okay.
You know, like those old school tunes. It just reminds me. I think it takes me back to like I don't know, like not factory settings, but like, yeah. All right, if you could jump into one of these paintings, which one would it be and why?
I think it'd have to be Starry Night, because like it'd have to be. Look at it. It's so beautiful, and also these two taking their little stroll under that, and also like those would be. I think we got told they will be gas lamps as well. So like feeling the romance of that and the history of that, and like.
If you could dive into that painting with one person, who would it be and why me?
It'd probably be my husband.
And why would it be me?
It would be you if I wasn't married. No, it'd be you if we were going on some sort of like bougie food holiday.
But even that you would do with your husband.
Yeah, true.
Yeah.
But I would take you
Yeah,
there
if he was busy.
for a stroll,
For a walk.
and then I'd go and meet my husband.
I thought the description was really beautiful. We was told that he's painted it so that the sea is swallowing the stars.
And that he's like changed he got rid of a bit of the landscape so he could have more of it.
That's neat, isn't
It
it?
was beautiful, yeah. It's so stunning. Which painting would you jump into?
Yeah, I'll jump into this because I could then explain to my younger self that Van Gogh didn't paint tulips, and that actually you will grow up to 20 years later really appreciate the non-tulips that he painted. He wants to like soothe, didn't he? He said he wants to soothe.
He wanted his art to feel like music.
Is that what he says?
I think that's what he said.
Sorry, I'm changing it.
Yeah.
But like there was like a soothing or comfort to give comfort, like music, right?
Yeah.
I never thought of it like that. Like I had seen these and I'm like, I'm sure they're great. And I'm sure if someone told me why they're great, I'd think they're great. Actually, look, I'm like, oh, that is special, that is beautiful. And like, it's nice to know, innit?
Yeah.
It's nice to know the backstory. But I think that's also the weird thing about art sometimes is you feel like you need a backstory. But then some can just take your breath away like the Starry Night did for you. So it's like, there's no one size fits all. So you have to just keep cooking it.
Just go and see what happens.
Yeah. Can we sense, you and I, we sense Van Gogh, the man, through the work?
That's such a good question. I think you can in some of it. Like,
if you hadn't been told anything about him.
well, okay. So when we saw the self-portrait earlier, this one. So when we saw this, I was a bit like, at first I thought stern and like angry almost. So then when we found out that it was actually when he'd just come out of the episode where he cut his earlobe off, it was like, okay. And then like I noticed his thumb and how hard he's holding on to the art. And that was like one of the first things. So it was like stern face, but then look at his like the tension in his thumb. And it was like he's holding on to the thing that in my mind gives him the most comfort. Like, but he's gripping it really tightly. And one of my favourite phrases in the world is hold your beliefs lightly. Because if you don't, they can shatter. And so he's holding it because it's like the only, it feels like in this picture, this is the only thing that's keeping him anchored. And so he's holding it like, so like in this one, I think you get the best sense of him where he was at, but also how much he needed this.
Oh,
do you know what I mean?
That's a great answer.
Do you know what I mean? I know.
That's good.
I'm really smart names.
Good food from you, bro.
I'm joking.
So like Van Gogh got rejected his whole life technically with all,
yeah, because he didn't get success.
Yeah, and then after he died, he got all the success and stuff. And like rejection might have hurt him quite a lot. Like, what's your relationship with rejection in terms of work? Because I feel like those things can get conflated. Rejection in real life is so different to rejection in work, but we can conflate them.
I think I have gotten more adept at being like, all right, well, off we go. Because I think when you work for a long time, you get to realise that the reason you're not getting a job or didn't get a job has very little to do with whether you were good or not. It's like, we want someone 5'6" and he's 5'5". Or we want someone whose hair's longer and you're like, hair grows. So do you know what I mean? Like very silly, very arbitrary things.
So do you think Van Gogh would have been as good as he is if he'd have got public acclaim and fame when he would have maybe desired it?
That's such a good question.
It's art pain.
I wonder what it would have been if he hadn't have suffered what we presume he suffered. What naughty cheekiness he could have brought out in other pieces of art.
Maybe if he'd got the acclaim, he would have had the confidence to be cheekier.
Yeah. I think that the self-portrait of like the pipe and the tobacco and the chair and the onions is like a bit naughty. So this is self-portrait. That's really cheeky. It's also a very compelling piece of art just on its own. But there's real personality in that choice. Maybe if he had a bit more money or like freedom or time or whatever, he would have done a few more cheeky sketches.
That's beautiful.
Yeah.